Well,
Yeah.
yeah, welcome everybody to another CBC podcast. This is going to be more of a Marvel-centric show since, trust me, we heard you about that DC show because we had to skip last week, so the week before. So, yeah, of course, I am your host, Armin. You guys can go find me at Arminis and at Comic Bookcast, and I'm here with Mitch.
Stop. You can find me at Mitch692.
Also, Tristan.
Hey guys, you can catch me at Control Breakers.
And this week we are also joined by Hybrid Network's Nick.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
so enthusiastic right there.
He's like, wow, it's just not a DC topic heavy week, so I could be somewhat excited, I guess.
Dude, I gotta do like a line of coke in the bathroom before we start.
Wow.
We got to start off really proper with this. It's just like, gotta get right off
No,
into the top. Well, I mean,
shitworms, dude. Bojangles are...
Man.
oh god, Bojangles, I completely forgot about that.
No.
No, so somebody asked, how is Sean and where's he been? He's actually a pro wrestler.
Yes.
Like, I'm
Yes,
not
I
making this
can
up.
confirm.
Yes,
I
he
can confirm
touches
that.
dudes in the shower. That's what it is.
Damn.
Well, I mean, Sean has figured out what he's always wanted to do, and that's grab dudes, so we're glad for him.
Yeah. Oil them up and lube.
Dude, what happened to like Ben and like all those all-star people? Like,
So, there is actual people in this that are going to be like, I remember them, and then most people are going to be like, who is a Ben?
like Ben, I haven't heard that name in a long time or something.
To like
had
the
a red
Jedi. So yeah, we're here. We got quite a lot of Marvel topics, as you guys can see, that popped up for you. So with that in mind, we're just going to get into the first topic at hand. Spider-Man: Far From Home has officially been revealed.
Yeah.
So a lot of people seem to be confused by this one. There was a lot of people saying that this probably wasn't even real, just due to the nature of the title.
I mean, it's got home in it. It has to be real.
Yeah.
It just seems odd for a title, and like you see other people, including me, making fun of it, saying like the third movie is going to be Home Alone.
Oh, there's tons of stuff like that. Well, what's the other one? Homeward Bound. The other one.
Well, I mean, I get what they're going for. They're trying to keep up with the whole home in the title, but it's not one of those titles that like rolls off when you say it, right? Like Homecoming, you're like, okay, but it's like Spider-Man: Far From Home. You're like, man, that's a mouthful right there, you know?
It doesn't even like acronym right. It's like SMFFH. Like
I mean, if you've seen like some of the Photoshop posters for Far From Home, is actually pretty funny. There was one where it was just the Spider-Man logo with a whole bunch of dust.
Oh, rip.
Yeah. Well, so pretty much like everything we've learned this past week, it's like it's titled Far From Home. It's that because it's a field trip with Spidey and his friends. They start shooting in like 2 weeks, roughly that time. So things are moving rather fast, and honestly, I'm kind of excited by this whole prospect of taking Spider-Man out of New York. It like worries me, but I trust that they're going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, I'm getting worried though because it's Sony. Like they're trying to rush this out.
Yeah, they're gonna put like 10 years later instead of 6.
Either that, or like,
10
just like,
years.
try to tie it in with the Silk movie that they're trying to get out.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no. Wait, I just realized why don't we have like Silk on here or anything, like any of the Sony stuff?
Because
They didn't think about it.
we're gonna talk about things that are actually gonna happen.
What about Venom? Like that movie everyone's hyped for, like that.
I mean, let's talk about that because Venom, this week, it was confirmed as like, oh, look at how big the numbers are doing for it and stuff, you know, for like the trailer.
Yeah.
But not only that, like you have all this Spider-Man stuff happening outside of Spider-Man. And it's like, I'm excited by the prospect of having Spider-Man, but then the idea of having Spider-Man without Spider-Man, I'm like, well, you know, I guess. And I understand why people might be looking at these other ones and being very cautiously optimistic or just cautious about it. And it makes a lot of sense again. There's a lot in the Spider-Man like world that you can work with, right? But I just don't get why, if you're setting up Far From Home and you're setting up all this stuff on the side, why can't Marvel and Sony work together to fit all these other franchises in? Like what excuse, what reason is there to not fit them in together?
Yeah.
Sony wants to do their own thing. Even though it doesn't really work, because you can have one side saying, oh, we can work together on this whole dynamic of Spider-Man and its universe and incorporate it into the MCU flawlessly. But you can have the other party say, oh, no, we just need a little head start from you guys and we can take it from here, even though most likely they don't know what the hell they're doing at this point.
Yeah, like I heard that like Silver and Black was gonna be like tangentially related because they were gonna use like Jessica Drew or something like that in it, or because she's gonna be in this new one.
Yeah, it was like Jessica Drew and then Silver Sable was tied in to a certain extent. I don't know how they were gonna do it, but that's what they were hoping that it was going to be.
But wasn't it also the guy playing Scorpion was supposed to be in it?
Yep.
Yeah.
At some point, yeah, he was.
So,
I mean,
but that movie's not happening, so who cares about it?
like, I've seen the theory that people are like, what if these movies are going to come out and they are connected in it? They're just not mentioned, kind of like the Netflix shows. And I'm like, I would honestly be okay with that, but they have to be good movies first and foremost. Like, you can't come out and put out I don't know, like a 30 on Rotten Tomatoes or something into the MCU because people are going to look at you and go, well, I don't want that in there. You know, like, they have to be handled with care. And if it's only Sony taking care of them and Marvel Studios has no input like they do with the Spider-Man movies, then why are you going down that route? Just work out a deal with Marvel and be like, please help us with everything we're doing. Like, because if you're Sony, if you can at least get one Spider-Man movie out every other year, and then in the years in between, you're getting out one of your spin-off movies, like, that seems like a no-brainer. Instead of trying to do your own.
Jumanji.
Oh yeah, well that was huge too. So.
But
You gotta do a cinematic universe about that.
Wasn't there that thing last year where someone said Feige's talking to a studio about the movies, and wasn't it with Sony? So it's like maybe they're actually talking about how to handle this.
So that's the thing.
Maybe still it's not even live action. Maybe it's animated.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Huh.
Well, I mean, in the meantime, all we know is that these spinoffs are all Avi Arad and Amy Pascal, so...
Well, I mean, they are getting, like, the Marvel Studios people working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah, but who's telling them what to do?
I mean...
Uncle Avi.
Getting the toy set.
Well, they don't
It's
even
like-
own the merchandise anymore. So it's like...
No.
Yeah.
You can just imagine Amy throwing sandwiches at the Marvel personnel, telling them what to do.
I want Silk. Bang.
And, like, with this whole, I guess, far from home thing going in a different direction for Spider-Man, we know still they're going to have to, obviously, tie in MCU characters, which I'm excited by that idea, but they need to come out and, I guess, release, like, that press release, which should be coming anytime before they start shooting, you know? So within the next 2 weeks, we're probably going to get it, so we're going to get confirmation of everybody that's in it, and probably even who the big MCU stars are going to be. And it makes me think, it's like, if we're dealing with multiverses and stuff now, is that going to be a way that they kind of, like, could technically maybe work in all these other spin-offs, being like, oh, so you could feasibly, maybe Tom Holland does show up in Venom for, like, a quick cameo, but it's like one of those multiverse things, you know, like, it doesn't have to be part of the MCU, which then again, you're kind of taking Venom away.
It's the Sonyverse.
Well, Feige did say that Far From Home has more than that one meaning like Homecoming did. So maybe the whole multiverse thing does play a part in it. Maybe Mysterio isn't like technology based. He is like magical, mystical sort of thing.
Well, so you mean like he's just like some hawk magician that plays with things that he shouldn't be playing around, and they travel through the multiverse.
They gotta get Doctor Strange in there then, no?
Yeah, why not?
That would be so cool. Like that's a way to do it though. Like, what if Mysterio is something like that? Like, that would be pretty awesome, honestly. I mean, it's a different version, sure.
And it mixes up the villains, so they're not all like TASM 2, where it's they all come from this one place and they're all like technology based.
Yeah.
Let's actually mix it up slightly.
But we need a Daredevil crossover with Spider-Man too.
Yeah, got to have Daredevil wheezing in the corner while Spider-Man like swings 4 blocks down.
What was that sound?
he gets punched in the gut once and he's out for 2 episodes worth. It's like, oh, Spidey's like, well, I'm just gonna keep on swinging.
Europe's too loud. I can't handle it. No.
Oh man. So, with that in mind, we're going to transition on to the next topic at hand, which brings us to Kevin Feige. He has some suggestions for Warner Brothers as to how they should be looking at DC. And essentially what he says is, once again, he's like, look at Donner Superman movies. Now, this isn't the first time he said this. You know, him and Jeff Johns have sat down for, like, discussions together and been like, if you want a template to how to make the perfect superhero universe and movie, look at Donner Superman. And he constantly says, that's how we start all Marvel movies. We look at that and we go, how can we make them like this? Which is like, I mean, if you're going to go to the template, right, it is Donner Superman that made it famous. So I agree with what he's saying, you know?
Just don't look at Superman 4. Avoid that one.
Oh, but Nuclear Man is coming back to the comics, though, right?
Yeah.
Well,
trust Bendis to fucking bring him in.
I mean, technically they did look at Superman 4 when they did Inhumans, so...
Oh, like how...
why? The quality bar
we're getting Eternals, though. It'll fix it.
Yeah.
It won't fix everything.
It'll fix some stuff. Well, that's the thing, like, when I look at the DC movies, right, and I look at the fan base that hates the Donner Superman, I'm like, if it wasn't for the Donner Superman, DC never would have succeeded and been able to find its footing then by going with Tim Burton's Batman and going in these different directions, because it was Superman to set them on the right course, being like, wow, like these superhero movies can be something, you know? And I mean, Sam Raimi goes, oh, the Donner Supermans is what inspired me. Even the X-Men, when they were like, well, we want to make the X-Men a big Hollywood franchise, even then Kevin Feige as an executive producer was like, hey guys, look at Donner Superman, here's our template. It's like, I think there's something like in how those movies are just so beloved all these decades after that does speak volumes to pretty much everything, right?
They're just timeless, aren't they? Really? They never. Some aspects they kind of age bad, but for the most part, like character wise, they're just consistently good.
Mm-hmm. So
and that's what they need to focus on is characters. So.
Well, I mean, doesn't it look like Shazam is going to go more in a very lighthearted? I mean, I already know that the reviewers are going to look at Shazam, and if it's very much liked, and if it's a funny movie, they're going to go, DC's Marvel movie, and everybody's going to start flipping out. But it's like, at some point, you got to look at the DCEU and be like, look, if people hated all this grimdark stuff, it can't work anymore. Like, people don't want that. So, I mean, I'm expecting Shazam to be a really solid movie, along with Aquaman. So, it's...
Well, I'm hoping Aquaman will be a solid movie, but...
Yeah.
No, that's not my DCU.
Too fun for me.
Dark. So dark that I can't even see.
I mean, like, you can strike a balance between...
Yeah, I know, but... For most
all Feige's really meaning is look at the characters. Focus on the characters and do all the super stuff second.
Oh, but they're... Remember their new strategy is to make good films, though, now.
Oh, yeah.
So let's make 4 Joker movies. That'll get them.
You can't hide the bacon anymore. You have to make a good movie.
I can't believe that Joaquin Phoenix movie is happening. Like, that's filming soon. I'm like, wow, that's like...
But has he actually been cast? Does he know?
Yeah, that's confirmed everything. I'm like,
is he actually aware that they're filming?
I mean, so I feel like this is a Benedict Cumberbatch and freaking Paul Rudd situation where weeks, like literally 2 weeks before each one was cast, I had a red carpet interview. They're like, how about the rumors of you being cast as X? And both of them just look at the camera and go, that doesn't happen. I haven't even talked to anybody. True. I'm like, I feel like that's the way they're handling this. Like, he's trying to downplay it just in case it wasn't going to happen. But this Joker movie, honestly, I'm rather excited by it. Like, just because the crew behind it and the star of it, I'm like, I think they're going to have something real special here. Maybe that's just me. I don't know, but I think it could work.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that also part of their new dark imprint or whatever? What, does anybody know what that story was about?
DC Black.
Oh.
Whatever that
all right,
means,
Black Label. Yeah. That's weird.
I've lost track of DC imprints, so they got like 12,000 of them.
Well, they got the TV ones. The TV side still seems to be going, and obviously there's like the like the TV network that's happening, which that seems to be going in a different direction for everything like DC so far, which, you know, what caught my attention, I guess we'll just roll this all into the DC topic right here. If you look at the episode titles for the Titans show, right? Did anybody realize that it's not following a pattern of a typical CW show? Because every episode of CW follows that same rhythm, and it's like you can skip like 5 episodes and catch up when something big happens and you're okay because you missed like the freak of the week stuff. It's like every episode has individual heroes and everything else going on, so I'm kind of excited by just what they're kind of putting out there, you know?
Well, yeah, because they're actually doing something. It's not copy paste for like.
So they're trying to go for like they're inspired more by like the Marvel Netflix rather than like the CW.
Are they going to go that dark?
Maybe. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily like rated since it's like a private streaming thing.
Yeah, I think some are going to be that dark and some might not be.
If Titans is going to be that dark and they look that bad, then yikes.
I mean, they have to do something to hide those costumes.
Yeah, but like, just put like their Starfire in the hallway scene for Daredevil. No, doesn't really go.
I'm expecting Swamp Thing to just be a military dude in a ghillie suit.
I mean, James Wan's apparently not on it, so he might as well be.
Oh, yeah.
1 minute he's doing it, next minute he's not. Like, what's going on?
That's true. Yeah. Oh, God. So, yeah, that was the DC Talk for this week. If you enjoyed it a couple weeks ago, there was the full show. Well, too bad for you, I guess. So, next topic, guys. Young Avengers and more. Power Pack. Yeah. Tons of stuff is coming.
I'm just going to say this ahead. For you guys who are asking for questions, wait till the end. We'll answer them when we can.
Yes. Q&A for the end.
Put your foot down. Tristan's like, shut up, chat. Stop it. Sit there in silence until
no, it's just like, you know, what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of this? Like, we have a Q&A at the end.
Yes. So anyway, back to the topics at hand. Young Avengers is being set up in Avengers 4. Not only that, Power Pack seems to get brought up every couple of months by somebody. And it seems that the Marvel future is now, as Kevin Feige has said, is going to be pretty much female-dominated within the next half decade or so. So I've seen a lot of topics about this. A lot of people excited by it. Some people aren't excited by it. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with it. Honestly, Young Avengers is the smart way to go. You can't keep bringing back Iron Man to be the star of all your stuff.
Well, it's not that. It's people are assuming things is that if in this new phase is Marvel going to go off, you know, major feminism and
SJW
and downplay what people are accustomed to because, you know, they fear change. Even if it's bad or majorly good, they don't want to change.
It's not even change. Young Avengers has been set up for what, 3 years already?
Mm-hmm. And they were going to use Patriot and Black Panther too, right?
Yeah, they tried putting Patriot in several movies. You got Cassie Lang. You know the Skrulls are coming. We got Scarlet Witch. So they're already set up. So why worry about it?
No, Power Pack though. That's an interesting one.
I don't know how Power Pack wasn't the first like Disney Marvel animated thing.
Yeah.
So why did they do Big Hero 6 and not Power Pack?
That is so weird. Well, it's probably been because they're keeping it under wraps because they want to do it, you know, as a live action. Because, I mean, how long have they been developing that?
About 10.
Probably like as long as that Runaway script that just never happened.
Really?
True.
Yeah, Runaways and Cloak and Dagger, they were the 3.
Well, I mean, Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, and Power Pack all started development in early 2006-ish, around there. Kazar and Ant-Man have been in development since 2002. So I'm like, when are we finally going to get Kazar in the Savage Land? Like, maybe when the deal comes through, like, they can get Savage Land fully. But, like, I would love to see, honestly, all of these characters. And Kevin Feige even said, like, if you look at some of the development time, like Cloak and Dagger, he's like, well, at one point we got into the development so far, we figured this was better for a TV series. And I'm like, yeah, they probably made the right call with that. So,
to be honest, I think Power Pack belongs on TV. I don't see a team of like 5-year-olds making a lot of money.
Oh, it's fun though. It's like
Well,
Rugrats or something.
unless it was an animated movie, I don't think so either.
I mean, if it's an animated movie, yeah, it's fine. But like, a live action
Nick
Power
hates
Pack movie,
kids.
it would just be so weird, like the Power Pack in the Avengers movie.
That's like Fox when they were gonna do that Franklin and Valeria movie or something. It's like
Oh no,
Spy Kids or something. I don't know. Like
the Fantastic Kids.
Well, the thing is, like, I could honestly see Power Pack, a Marvel Studios movie for the new streaming service.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that just make all the sense in the world? It's like, hey, we got to pull in all ages. We're going to have a Star Wars show. We're going to have this Marvel show. Hey, how about something for younger and all, like, generations of kids? Well, here's Power Pack, you know? It's like, it kind of just has that branding behind it that I don't think you put that in theaters. That's just my feeling, but it seems like a Runaways type of thing where you want to put it as a TV series because, I mean, I don't want to pay $12 in IMAX or whatever to watch a bunch of 7-year-olds run around with like plastic gadgets on their head, but
I mean, but they'll be punching people.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, would you have Franklin Richards on the team, the Power Pack?
Oh,
Could you just set him?
It depends on how OP he is.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you could have him as OP as you want.
I mean,
he can be the one person to cross over between the streaming services.
well, if you haven't set up the Fantastic Four yet, I guess you're gonna call him like Frankie Ritchie or something. Just like, no, he can't be the actual character. So,
oh no.
oh, that's how it's got to go down. So,
It's not.
with that in mind, do you think Miss Marvel was going to fall into that whole Young Avengers thing as well? Do you think she could be a bridge between another TV series and Young Avengers?
I don't think they're going to put her on Young Avengers. Because I don't think she works on like a massive team. You know, they put her on Avengers in the comics.
Champions.
No one liked it.
That's part of the reason why they put her on at Champions for the
Yeah.
most part. From interviews saying that
Wait,
she
what's
didn't.
gonna happen with Kamala then?
Well, Kamala is Miss Marvel.
No, I mean in the MCU though, because they said they want to do something with her.
They
I
said
mean, you
they
can
want to
put
make
her
a
on
movie
TV.
with her, so
Did they say a movie?
Yeah.
I just know that they said they want to do something with her. Like, she's
there's
definitely coming.
there's some reports saying that they're working on a movie, and other ones saying that they want to do something.
I feel like the way Kevin Feige talks about it, she's coming to a movie first, but I definitely feel she has to get introduced. Like, I think she's going to get the Agent Coulson treatment. Like, hey, you love this character in this movie, now go watch her new series. It's like, oh, okay, because I think Kevin Feige wants to establish the tone of that character, and such a important character, introduce her in a movie first, and then kind of go off and do your own thing, you know?
Because she's very much, what's the word? She's not low priority, but like, you know, she's not Avengers. Like,
Yeah,
I can't think of the word I want to use. Like,
she's not that
like-
caliber of character. I get what you're saying.
it's,
Yeah.
no, it's not even. I'm not even saying like that. She's a massive character, but like the Avengers are like massive. They do like the space stuff and all this. She's very much. I
Street
just
level?
go to school. Yeah, but she's not even. She's kind of like below street level.
Yeah.
She's like I always
She's
put her like on.
she's
on,
like
on
neighborhood level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like she's in a weird spot because it focuses more on her, not who she saves
Yeah,
and what she
they
does.
could easily do like a low budget like Lady Bird-esque movie about her or something.
Huh?
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, when I look at Kamala, I'm like, if she makes freaking what's his name Spider-Man look big time compared to her, and then you know it's like, so you got to contain that, and if you're contained it to a small neighborhood in Jersey, you're really not making a movie about that, to me at least. Maybe a network movie for like their streaming service again, because I think that's where the character's gonna live, but. Or maybe Freeform could pick it up or something, because they've done wonders with Cloak and Dagger, so.
I was gonna say she'd work on Freeform.
Yeah, perfectly on there.
But it's like, you know, with Spider-Man, you can take him out of New York and put him in Europe and do that. You kind of, I don't know, you possibly could do it with Kamala, but I'm not sure if it would work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of her stuff is like the community and where she is.
Yep.
So.
That's true.
I wouldn't be opposed to a movie. It'll be very different.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. So yeah, that'll wrap up our future MCU talk, and now on to Marvel's The Eternals. It's apparently going to be a giant game changer for the entire cinematic universe. Okay. Apparently they're going to go through the history of the MCU and kind of change some stuff around from what I'm gathering from this. What do you think?
I think they're more meaning like that sci-fi trope of like, oh, ancient Egypt was aliens,
Yeah.
and it's going to be this. Because that's they're eternal. There's a reason why they're called Eternals.
Yeah.
They've been around forever and they will be around forever. So, why not have them be like? Why not have like Cersei as Cleopatra and do all stuff like that?
But do you guys think that they could have other characters on the Eternals, like Hercules or something like that too? Like,
I mean, sure, why not?
I've been saying Hercules has got to happen since the MCU started. I'm going to officially just say it with no scoops or knowledge that Hercules is going to be in Eternals. I think he needs to happen, honestly. Like, because as I know, as I've talked to somebody, and I've said this before, I know Disney wanted to do a live-action Hercules, and they were told to hold it because there was some sort of eternal discussion in regards to studios. Now, my only assumption from that, from the guy I talked to who was at one point working on something Hercules, was Marvel Studios probably said, hey, we could probably make a successful Hercules finally in live action. So I'm just going to assume he shows up in Eternals and he's going to be like a crazy good character. So,
but could Hercules have his own movie? Wouldn't people get confused between the Disney Hercules and the Marvel Hercules?
I think that's exactly why they put a hold on it, like
or the Rock Hercules.
Oh no!
I mean, you could, because it could tie it into his horrible Scorpion King movie. Tie it all back to Egypt.
Oh god.
Well, I mean, so if you're going through like with Eternals, right, and you're doing all this history, and like you said, the pyramids and all that, I think visually, could you just imagine how insane this movie would look? And I just want to bring up a bad movie that has a very cool look of Egypt, and that was something like Gods of Egypt. Like when they open up to Egypt in the first time in that movie, you're like, whoa, like it's truly breathtaking with how crazy and like unique it looks. And I was like, it gets me thinking, I'm like, could Marvel do something like that and completely go like that Guardians, shock everybody? Because right now when I talk to anybody and they're like, hey, I mean, what's Marvel developing? I'm like, Eternals. And then all my friends go, what's that? And I kind of give them like the 30-second pitch and they go, that sounds stupid. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, you all said that
read
about
the comics.
Right, yeah.
So what I got from that is you finally learned about the Eternals.
A little bit, yeah. I did a small research.
I read the wiki.
There's only like 2 runs though, right? Like 3 maybe?
There's 3. There's the Jack Kirby one, then there's the Gaiman run, and then there's the one after the Gaiman one, but I can't remember who wrote that one. So
must be great.
I mean, it's really good. I just can't remember the name of it. I think it's some Asian writer. I'm not entirely sure. But
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot to go with when you go with Eternals in this direction. And it gets me excited because every time Marvel has announced something that I don't expect, when they come back with it, I'm like, you know what? This actually isn't that bad. So, like, I think it could honestly work. But I think they're going to have to take some liberties, and how much they do with like altering Marvel's history with it, I think that could be cool too. Because like I fully expect they're going to be like, oh, here's a young Odin cameo, or something like along those lines.
I mean, you could do like everything. It's not the way to bring Loki back to shut those people up.
True.
But, no. I don't know what they'll focus on though, because Odin would have to just literally be pop in, pop out, because you have to do all of that celestial stuff and how they came to be and what a deviant is and what the difference between those is and how the celestials tie into everything. So I think having all that on top of they've been here forever, look how they've affected like humanity and the civilizations, and then just to have a random character go hi is a bit.
Yeah. That's just. Well, it's also one of these things, I mean, we don't know because they keep teasing us. They're like, guys, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Phase 4, you're going to be surprised. Nothing's the same. I'm like, So it's like they could theoretically just go crazy off the wall and like retcon a bunch of history out of nowhere. And we're like, oh, okay. Like, because they're now kind of open to anything really with the Infinity Stones and stuff. So.
Yeah, I don't think those Infinity Stones are going to last.
No, not at all.
I see them going down.
Yeah.
So we can't have this like stain here.
Oh, but they're going to make a Stark Gauntlet, remember?
Oh, yeah.
The 4chan leak or whatever it said.
Yeah, a bunch of leaks, and some even other people have leaked legitimate things, which I mean, Eternals was originally. When did we first hear about Eternals? It's been a couple years
I think
now.
it was, yeah, I don't know.
Was it really a couple of years? I thought it was only a couple of months.
Maybe my time is getting confused, and I mean everything's rolling together at this point.
I mean, they might have like dropped a hint when Guardians 1 came out because Celestial.
Right? Yeah.
No, they don't put anything in these movies for no reason. So Celestial's kind of like, oh, the Eternals exist.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're there, they have to be. So.
Well, isn't it like Phase 4? They said they were gonna like introduce like new worlds and stuff, and like all new characters or something, or.
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of doing that with that Man and the Wasp. So.
What about like Namor, the Submariner?
That means Universal has to play ball.
They should just make him get working on that. Make him an Eternal while you're at it. I don't care. Just give me that character.
Isn't he able to like show? I thought Namor can show up as like a side character like Hulk, but he can't get his own solo film or something.
I don't know.
It's something weird like that.
I'm not even sure they fully know. So.
Because from what Marvel has said, is that it's tied to all these different kinds of contracts, and it's really hard to get them all sorted. So it's kind of a yes and no answer at this point. It's like, Marvel does have the rights to them, but for right now, since he's tied up with another company, they can't really do anything until everything is settled.
Yeah.
See, what they're gonna do is introduce Roman and just have an underwater Roman. Sorted. Change it. What's Atlantis backwards? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, we need a good Aquaman movie. So Namor.
I mean, you got Water Lobo coming this year, so.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. I don't know. I get excited by the idea of the Eternals expanding on the entire like MCU in another direction and kind of changing what we think we know, because honestly that kind of always gets me excited about a new chapter in the MCU when they can kind of introduce something new that I didn't know or twist something that I did know from the comics. So
yeah,
I mean, I would love it if by the time this movie gets going, if they've acquired Fox fully and they're just like, hey, look at the Phoenix Force, it's an ancient entity, and that could realistically happen. So like,
oh yeah, I mean the Fox thing is almost done. Like we could start seeing Fox characters in like the 2020 movies at this point.
Well, I guess that'll roll us onto our final topic. Marvel Studios officially gets the go-ahead from the Department of Justice, so Fox is literally theirs right now. It's done.
Yeah, at this point. It's funny because with the deal that they had to sell all of Fox's with sports networks because they would have a monopoly, because for people who don't know, Disney owns ESPN.
So first, I want to make this clear because I've seen a lot of confusion about what this means, because in the original report, Disney even stated, we're not taking Fox Sports or anything, and people are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. What they're actually giving up is all the time slots and dedicated stations, which are a huge part of the Fox Sports lot. Like, they're not going to have anything of any property of sports, which is a pretty hefty sum that Fox actually owns. So,
but didn't the whole thing earlier say that they have to sell them off? So
yes.
they're buying them in the deal, and then they're instantly going to get more money back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think with the deal that they had with Department of Justice is that they gave Disney, like, I think it was 90 days to come to a deal with selling off all of the Fox sports properties.
Christ.
Dude, those regional sports networks are worth like $20 billion though.
Yeah.
Because what people don't realize, it's like the sports aspect of Fox is huge. Like, I mean, I've been watching off and on the World Cup, and you just go to Fox and you're watching all the games there and everything. So, they have everything there, and this is something that Disney could not own because they own ESPN. It would have been truly then a monopoly, which they've agreed then. It's like, fine, we'll sell it off. It doesn't matter, it's like...
Fine, we get X-Men.
Yeah. It's how it works,
But can people stop saying that it's a monopoly for the studio now?
Yeah, because it's a horizontal thing. The monopoly was like AT&T, Time Warner. Like, I can't even believe that went through.
Yeah,
like,
that is insane.
Yeah, and I think like even for Comcast to even try to top this, it's that they would have to go and find some other investors to want to pile in, because I think they would have to come up with about 90 billion at that point. and even then, they would be in the red if they even tried.
Well, I mean, so would Disney, because Comcast is like worth more. It's not a lot. I think it's only like 7 billion more. But I say 7 billion is not a lot. Like it's like
Yeah.
But, you know, if they went any higher up, it would be like, can we actually do this? And it's like, nah. But they're still going to try. I bet you they're going to put another bid despite this.
I mean, they kind of have to, because literally the battle for Fox is the battle for supremacy of the future of TV and entertainment. That's what it is.
They're
like
going up against Netflix and everything.
Right. So you really kind of look at that and you start looking at how much they're worth. And when you look at that, Netflix is now worth 150 billion. It's crazy to think about it, but Netflix could end up buying Fox if they wanted to, and they would win over Disney and Comcast. Like, that's a real situation I don't think people understand. And Comcast is in a position worse than anybody else in terms of what's happening here to be able to acquire Fox. So Disney, now that they've gotten the approval from the Department of Justice, they've just jumped about 6 months ahead of schedule to where everybody thought they were going to be by December. Like, this is huge news. Like,
the deal is going to finalize this year now.
Yeah.
They say it'll be at least summer 2019 at the earliest or something.
Yeah, well, I thought
like...
there's reading something from like Bloomberg. It said within the next 3 to 4 months it could be like fully cleared.
Yeah, so essentially, from what I just shot a quick email to somebody, and it's the financial guy I always talk to. He shot it back to me and says, now that the Department of Justice has said yes, essentially they can jump on finalizing the details. And he said it could literally be 2 months, it could be 6 months, but the full extent of it is probably very rare. The full extent was them assuming that the Department of Justice was going to take like 8 to 9 months or more. So, like, things are going to move rapidly fast now. I'm assuming Kevin Feige's going to be like, look, I need this, and Disney's going to be like, look, we need this as well to launch our service, because that service is still launching, end of the year, early next year, so they're probably going to want to dump a bunch of Fox stuff on there really quick, you know?
So what's the
time for D23?
Yeah.
That's a whole bunch of shit.
Yep.
But if this gets finalized before the end of the year, what are the odds something's in Avengers 4?
Post-credit stinger, guaranteed.
Yeah, you just see Wolverine show up and everybody dies.
Just a little shot in Canada. So,
no, they'll
smoking a cigar.
They'll do like the ultimate scene of like, look, okay, we need to quickly cast somebody that's bald in a wheelchair, and we'll have one Infinity Stone survive, and he has to hide it, and that'll be the end scene. It's like, no, this is our thing right now, like.
I'll call it now. You have that one, then the very end will be them showing that the Baxters got the Avengers Tower.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, like I was just thinking about it actually. The most realistic scene that they could do would be putting Deadpool in there, because he's already cast and everything. Like,
true.
But would they put Deadpool in these movies though?
Yeah, they want money.
Even like R-rated. Like, I mean, sure, like you could probably make it work, but this meme pool in
PG Deadpool, he'll do it.
Just have like Deadpool get kicked out of the Avengers headquarters because he was too annoying.
Yeah, or just have that Colossus show up.
Yeah, dude, he would be perfect. Honestly, that's like a perfect bridge because he seems like that's how Marvel would design him. Like, he has an MCU look to him. But also, like, if you wanted to make a statement, you would, I think, include Deadpool, and it'd be one of those things where it's like a post-credit scene. Like, I'm already right now fully expecting, like, Lord of the Rings style Avengers 4, where there's like 17 different endings to just tie up all these ends.
God.
Like, I'm fully expecting one of them to be like a couple people, maybe they're eating shawarma or something, and Deadpool just runs and be like, did I show up too late? The transdimensional, and they're just looking at him like, what? Like, something totally Deadpool, like...
So you're saying the credits are going to be a half-hour long, like Return of the King?
Yeah. I'm fully expecting that, honestly. Like, it's going to be like, okay, go take a piss break, come back, and then the credits start rolling. Like,
So, how long is the scene where they're in the bedroom going to last then? For the end of Return of the King?
God.
We've got to have them all slow-mo running in with all the light. And then one just sails away.
Damn.
I mean, that's the thing, because Avengers 4 is meant to wrap up, as they've said, and it's starting a new chapter of the future of the MCU. And you think about X-Men and Fantastic Four, that is going to be a huge factor of it. As much as, Black Panther is going to be like the new Tony Stark and Captain Marvel's the new Iron Man, in terms of how popular she's going to be, where they put her in front of everything, just think about that for a second. X-Men and Fantastic Four, Wolverine alone, his first movie's going to be like $800-900 million without a problem. So, they're not going to abandon that. So,
also, I'm going to call Super Skrull and Captain Marvel if it happens.
Ooh, yeah.
Wait, but which brand will they reboot first, though, in the MCU?
See, I like to think they do Fantastic Four, just because we've had X-Men for so long and consistently in your face for so long. Where the Fantastic Four, you've only had 3 in 15 years. So let's actually try and sort that one out.
Or no,
well, it's 4 in 20 years, something like that. But
yeah,
no, just try the one that they haven't attempted the most first, and then work on mutants.
Like I said, I think X-Men comes 4 or 5 years after the acquisition, but first you do Wolverine and you do some solo movies to kind of build that up, because I think X-Men as a brand, Apocalypse certainly did enough damage, and Dark Phoenix, that's the jury's still out on that one. So it's
because like what you guys said with the Fantastic Four, you can also have a cameo by Spider-Man.
Yeah,
tie it all in.
Yeah. Also, you could have Captain America in the Wolverine movie, make it a prequel.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I think I was reading there was like a Deadline article recently talking about like Marvel not being at Comic-Con, and they mentioned that with the Fox Disney deal, they're trying to supposedly fast track X-Men reboot. I'm like, what?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, X-Men would be the bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd like if it was the Fantastic Four first.
Same. It feels like I feel like the Fantastic Four would be kind of a Spider-Man style victory lap almost, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, okay.
Just like we've waited for this long, let's actually just do it.
But then again, it's like, what happens to all those Fox films in development? Like, do they take the Doctor Doom script and
that's the only one I would want. I keep Doom, scrap everything else. I don't care.
What about what about like X-23 or like Kitty Pryde or any of that stuff? And
I'm gonna quote Feige. What about them?
All right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, we do have one question so far. It's from Batman Fan 14. Which streaming service do you think will be worth more money? DC's
I was gonna say it. I think Tristan
Disney's?
jumped the gun.
Actually, no, it's fine to actually just go on there. So let's talk about these. All right. So streaming service values. See, the thing is, Disney automatically has more value in their entire service because it's Disney. It's not a DC or a Marvel service. So it's a whole company.
And they now just got all the fun stuff, so it's even.
They got Alien and all that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, because with Disney alone, they have a back catalog of classics from animation and movies that they can just pull from that people will want to see again.
But at the same time, DC Universe has Steel, so.
Steel.
Oh, damn.
Automatically.
Oh man.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I think the streaming service for DC has the right idea. Make a ton of original TV content, and that's great. But you need more than 2 live-action shows or 3 live-action shows and 2 cartoons. Like, if you want to keep me interested, you're going to need at least 5 live-action shows every year. And I mean, like, that's a new season, kind of like what you're doing on CW. Like, every week I need something to tune in, and some of them can overlap. You're going to need original made for the streaming service movies and everything, which is exactly what Disney's doing. And Disney's not just going to be like, here's a Star Wars show, here's a Marvel show. They're producing one active in development Star Wars show. Another one is in development. There's 2 Marvel shows in development, apparently, for this service. And then there's a ton of other content that they want on there. So it's like, well...
I mean, because you can automatically see, like, with their draw as kids, you can see the parents would view the value of either the DC streaming service or Disney. what will the kids want to watch more that has more content for the amount of the subscription service? It would obviously be Disney because kids, would have all the cartoons and movies that would want to watch on repeat over and over. It doesn't really matter what DC has at this point because they don't have the content to supply their subscribers with constant views.
Mm-hmm. How long is that DC streaming service content gonna last?
As long as they can keep making content.
Yeah, but I mean, from what they've announced, that's not a year's worth of content.
It really isn't, unless
it's
they haven't started
months.
announcing other stuff.
Yeah, it's not even 5 months worth. So
I think that you're gonna have access to the comics though, on there too.
Oh yeah, they said something, but I didn't know.
Wait, really?
Motion comics?
I think they're probably going to do a Marvel Unlimited on there.
Okay.
Which I doubt you'll see the new ones on there because why would you ever go and get them otherwise? But if you have all the back catalog on there,
they're 5 months behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
New ones are that far behind, and you have pre-New 52 and Death of Superman and all that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, and that's kind of like one of these things where I look at it and I think there's plenty of value. I don't want people to, think I'm not saying there's not enough value in the DC service because there looks like there's going to be value, but it has to be priced right. If it's like, hey, $5 for 3 months and $20 for a year or something, okay, because Disney's realistically going to be $5 a month, 7 tops, according to what analysts are saying, and then you'll be able to buy a year for like 50-ish bucks. It's like, that's not bad. So if you're just offering me DC content for the same price as Disney's offering way much, people aren't going to go to it, and you look at Netflix, people are like, I don't know if I'm getting the value of my Netflix anymore for $13 a month. I'm like, dudes, they're creating 800 pieces of content, original content, this next year alone. That's movies and original TV shows. And that's not enough for you? Come on. It's kind of, it's out there, there's a lot of stuff that people want, so they have to be careful with it, and I think DC is in a worse position with their streaming service. That's just my opinion, but...
Well, I mean, they naturally are. They're starting off a new streaming service. Early adopters are going to have to poke up with not a lot of content to watch.
Mm-hmm.
If people subscribe to it and there's enough of them, and then they'll make more, and it'll get better and better and better and bigger and bigger and bigger. That's just naturally how it goes. Netflix didn't start off with a library of 50,000 things. They had a small little bit. It's just how it goes.
Yep.
It also doesn't help that they chose to just make it a DC streaming service. So
yeah, why not WB?
Yeah. Well, why aren't WB gonna make a streaming service?
Yeah, they're gonna have Harry Potter and all that.
Yeah, and they're talking about you can pay $40 and watch a new movie early or something like that, while it's in cinemas or something. Well.
Mm.
That was earlier when they announced their streaming service. Mm. But apparently they haven't gone anywhere because I think one of the titles that they said that you could watch it earlier or the day of its premiere was Justice League. Yeah. I think it was Justice League, but it went nowhere with that.
Yeah. It's if it was just a straight WB and DC was incorporated into that, they would be better off. But because it's such I don't want to use the word niche, but it's kind of is a niche little thing. It's it's just a DC streaming service. Here's not a lot of stuff. Yes, there's been a lot of this stuff over the years, but is it enough for people in 2018? Because people will blitz through everything in that. But
yeah, and it's also, how are they going to release it? Is it going to be a weekly thing, or can I pay $3 for a month of service, binge watch their 2 shows they dump on launch, and then I don't have to come back till next year? Because that seems counterintuitive.
I 100% at least Titans is weekly. I think to start off, they have to do things weekly just to spread everything out.
Yeah.
Why drop 8 episodes or however long Titans is all in one? That's going to last people a day.
That's true. Yeah. It's an interesting prospect, and they find themselves in an interesting position, which is that's, I think, the big question. And I think the streaming service is probably going to be launching this year by all accounts. So
yeah, I think it's around October, I want to say, because they're having Titans, the trailer coming soon.
Yep.
So it's got to be this
Dude,
year.
they need to do a Hanna-Barbera streaming service. A new Scooby-Doo show and everything.
Well, you know what? Let's roll around and talk to, like, I guess talk about this
for
other
the
topic.
streaming service, it's August.
Oh, wow. That's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
it's
I
just,
knew it was relatively soon. I was going to
Yeah, DC Universe streaming service is planned to launch in August.
Yeah, 'cause I think we're getting the Titans trailer at Comic-Con.
No, they're
I'm
not going
not
to be
sure.
there.
No, they're not doing a panel. They are going to be there.
yeah. I wouldn't be
just not
surprised
straight
if they
on.
show something. They have to. If it's launching in August.
No, they're hiding it, dude. Remember Blackbirds and all that? God.
Next
So-
question.
All right, so the next question I want to talk about another cinematic universe that seems to be taking some way, shape, or form. The Hasbro Cinematic Universe. They've been trying to get it off the ground for 5 years now.
I saw this and I was like, he's going to pick that one. Exactly what he's going to do.
There's like two
He's gonna
questions.
go
There's
for
a Hasbro, and the other one was, what are your thoughts on the Optimus Prime origin movie?
I mean, that one
Hasbro.
can't be any worse than the last movie we got, so...
So, okay, so here's the thing. I want to make this very clear. I am a very big fanboy of the Transformers brand. Only if it's good, though. Like, I could be, very critical of it, as I have been, to many of the cartoons they've done, and of course the live-action movies. Now, Bumblebee looks good, which has me worried because I might have to like it. And if I like it, that means that universe continues. And I want a reboot that has a proper G.I. Joe reboot, or whatever else they're doing.
If Bumblebee does well, that is going to be a reboot. They're not going to stick with the Michael
Oh, Bumblebee looks good, though.
It does.
So it's like you're telling me you don't like Bay Transformers, where he has a Transformer that has testicles?
No one with a functioning frontal lobe likes those movies.
You don't like Megan Fox?
I mean, don't we all love Megan Fox?
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I know, but I'm hopeful for this Bumblebee movie because it actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
It looks different.
But then
Yeah,
again,
it almost
this is
looks like
all
Transformers.
But again, it's isn't the Hasbro universe really strange properties like Mask and Dungeons and Dragons and
Yeah.
Basically, it's just action figures. The
So-
universe.
Are you telling me you don't want to see a wizard from Dungeons and Dragons riding on top of Optimus Prime fighting Cobra Commander on Cobra Island?
Look, I saw Transformers the last night. I got it once. I've had enough.
and a Megazord because Power Rangers
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I remember us talking about the stupid last Transformers movie. I tried so hard 3 times, and each time I only made it a separate 12 to 15 minutes in, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It was so bad.
It's worth it for Anthony Hopkins alone, just because he's so bad.
How about that?
He might as well have just been on the phone doing his lines, but...
Well, I mean, how about that terrible, dubbed line of his, where they clearly got a sound-alike to, fill in for reshoots? So there's a moment, and I made it this far, where Anthony Hopkins is, trying to give a speech, and then it cuts to literally a dude yelling. Trying to sound... Dude, it's so bad. I made it that far, and I was like...
Well, at least they're not the Universal franchises like Dark Universe and all that.
Yeah, but that's coming back, isn't it? Aren't they
Yeah, they got brought back from the dead just like the old monsters. And
they're gonna have Dracula Untold and The Mummy in there because they were good movies.
yeah.
I mean, a Hasbro one, it could work. It's a lot of smashing things together and explosions, but
Mm-hmm.
if people like it, people like it. I'm not gonna. I will judge from a distance, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Richard, I'd watch a Dungeons and Dragons movie. Just depends on who would be the dungeon master.
A World of Warcraft film. We need a sequel.
They're probably looking at sequel because of China.
I mean, at the minute, a D&D movie could do well because it's kind of had a little resurgence on the internet thanks to streaming. So
Yeah, and I follow a couple of writers, especially Jim Zub. He loves he loves himself some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
wasn't he
does.
doing the D&D Rick and Morty comic?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so
Dude, Zub.
Zub's good.
Yeah, he's
No
Oh.
slander. No Subslander. I will fight this.
I don't know. I think Hasbro has a potential. I think they have potential. Hopefully they can do it. I'm not saying they're going to, because God knows everybody else has messed up their cinematic shared universe thing. They're trying. But if there's anybody that could legitimately do it, if they care about it, I think Transformers and G.I. Joe has the possibility to do it. Assuming G.I. Joe's a reboot.
Yeah.
Reboot featuring The Rock.
Yeah.
Who else was in the G.I. Joe movies?
Channing Tatum played
That's the
Joe,
one.
and he died in the second movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's bring him back.
Remember they actually did the reshoots because he died in the opening, and then they realized that he got popular because of Magic Mike, so they did a bunch of reshoots to like add him and The Rock playing Xbox.
Oh.
Did they? I don't even remember that movie.
Look, my wife made me watch those movies a month ago, and I literally I was melting in my seat. I'm like, this is so bad.
Can we get Channing Tatum back for the reboot? But
Can we get him for Gambit? Like, I want that to happen.
No, but
finally.
make him think it's Gambit, and then make it a G.I. Joe movie. Be like, look, we're making Gambit, wink, wink, because that's G.I. Joe.
Well, he'll take it, I
what the
assume.
studio doesn't tell him, and then when he shows up on set, it's actually G.I. Joe.
So it's just G.I. Joe walking around throwing like flaming cards.
Well, it'll get made before Gambit, so that's fine.
Oh.
And we are going to take one more question, just because it's another shared universe one. I like to talk about it. So John Moore 93 asks, which monster would you like to see get rebooted? Now, the monster universe has tried to be rebooted twice in the last 5 years with Dracula Untold and The Mummy, and both were massive flops in every regard, which is...
Yeah.
But Dracula Untold was cool, though.
I actually like both of them, but I actually did like Dracula Untold.
See, I didn't see those movies because I'm smart.
So, they're not awful. I guess that's the endorsement I can give them.
Isn't the Wolfman supposed to come out soon?
I have no idea what they're doing with those.
Yeah, because I remember the last time I heard about that, it was that they were working on the Wolfman.
I thought the Bride of Frankenstein was the next one.
Oh yeah. Bride of Frankenstein's apparently going to happen.
Wasn't Johnny Depp the Invisible Man?
Yep.
Yeah, that's fucking...
Well, remember they released an entire cast photo and then wah.
I mean, if it's Johnny Depp, he would want to star in that movie because he needs to work.
Yeah, he does.
And nobody would see his face.
Yeah.
Or his fist. Hey.
Well, the thing is, they don't have to have him on set the entire time. He's invisible. Yeah.
It's like it's slowly sinking in throughout each person.
With this question, I honestly would have wanted to see a creature from the Black Lagoon, but they just did it basically with Shape of Water.
Yeah.
So.
See, I don't really know much about the monsters, so I can't really. I haven't got an opinion on anything.
Well, from what we found out in the last couple months is that Guillermo del Toro apparently wanted to reboot it multiple times, but Universal was like, "We don't like you. Go make your stupid Fishman movie somewhere else." And then he, ends up winning all these awards, and that could have been the creature from the Blue Lagoon. So,
wasn't the Shape of Water actually his creature from the Black Lagoon script?
Apparently, yeah, that's what he was reworking.
What I heard, or something like that. Or he reworked it to fit, but
didn't they want Del Toro to be like the Feige of the monsters or something?
They did at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would have worked because he understands those characters. That's what half of his stuff is based around.
I understand that.
It's a Pacific Rim.
Then Del Toro said, "No, I want to go do some video games now."
Yeah, I want to go have Norman Reedus' baby or whatever the hell was happening. It's an interesting time. I mean, I want the Monsterverse to happen, but it needs to happen with love and care, and I don't think they want that because The Mummy should have been a surefire success, But they should have made it like the Brendan Fraser ones. Yeah, if they would have made it like the Brendan Fraser ones.
No, why didn't they just get Brendan Fraser back? He could be like an old man O'Connell. That would have been a big hit.
Is he still alive? He's kind of like just falling off the face of the earth.
Dude, he got Me Too, remember?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was sad, actually, like, reading that thing about him.
What was his accusation specifically? I can't remember.
It was like some guy groped him or something, and he basically was like, you can't say anything or I'm gonna, like, ruin your career or something. Or
basically, he was scaring him into being blackballed.
Oh. Ooh, yeah, okay, I can see why. Well, there we go. Which then, I guess that's going to bring us to the...
Yeah, on that note.
Yeah, that brings us to the end of this podcast. Groping and all that stuff. So.
Getting all dark up in here.
You know what? I'm going to agree with Richard here right at the end. More Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes, because...
No.
Dude, I love that last movie. I'm sorry. I know I'm in a minority, but I love it.
I mean, they're going to be featured in Kingdom Hearts 3, so might as well just start making more movies.
Yeah, but if you want more, you can go to Disneyland. That's where they belong. Keep them there.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. It's all good. Hopefully everything's gonna work out pretty good. I'm not sure. But yeah, shared universes, all this X-Men stuff and MCU. So thanks for joining us for our podcast, everybody, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah. I hope you guys are happy that it's an hour long this time.
Yeah.
It was an hour long last time.
No, it wasn't. We were like short for like 4 minutes. They were short for like 4 minutes.
Oh,
like literally, they were nitpicky. Say it's not an hour long. Like this is 4 minutes.
You all need to go old school. Do like a 2-hour show.
Oh my god, I would starve to death. Yeah, I'm too old.
So maybe when San Diego comes around, maybe.
Oh god.
We'll just sit on Twitch for the entire day for Comic Con.
Might as well, honestly. I was going to do that for E3, but then I got sick, and I was like, well, that took care of that. Well, thanks for joining, everybody. Catch you guys next time. And for those of you that are going to be in Vegas, come find me again. That was pretty awesome. I might go to an after party, which means you'll see me obliterated on the floor. Thumbs up.